Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and this video is going to show the fastest cars made by the in-game manufacturer Pegassi in terms of lap time. As always, the position counter is in the top left with the best lap time the vehicle achieved in the top right, and since it's more for interest purposes rather than anything functional, non-raceable cars are included in this list. Also, as the title says, this is cars only, there's no bikes, planes or anything else here. This video only focuses on track performance, so if you're interested in top speed, where braking, cornering and acceleration aren't relevant, check the link in the description for the top speed testing series, and if you want to know more information about this testing, including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. This video lists the top 10 cars and is correct as of the Cayo Perico heist update. For any vehicles added after that or other classes of cars, check the playlist linked in the second line of the description, and feel free to check out my Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to support this work and get testing results of any new cars a little bit early. So we're obviously seeing the bottom of the top 10, but Pegassi actually only make 13 cars in total. So the Monroe would be in 13th place, with the Torero in 12th and the Infernus Classic in 11th. So that's the full list. If you want to know all of the cars, those are the first three, and then you've got the top 10 list as we're seeing in the video. I've decided to do this video after the Grotti video because they're both quite similar car makers. You know, they both produce a smaller number of high performance sports and supercars with a smattering of slower classic cars as well, you know, in the sports classics class, like the Monroe and the Torero for Pegassi. So we've got the Tesseract here in 5th place, and that is in 18th place for the supers class, and this is one that people often mistakenly think is quicker than it is, probably because they might be doing races with catch-up turned on, and as we saw from my video looking into catch-up mechanics, the Tesseract actually isn't affected by catch-up, so it's always a good choice there, but ultimately on one lap pace or even top speed, it isn't the quickest. You know, there's plenty quicker than it. Coming into 4th place, we've got the Zarusso, so that's 5 places higher than the Tesseract in the supercars class, in 13th place with a 101.0. And we're seeing the same sort of thing as we saw with Grotti, where Pegassi are making these high performance supercars that do very, very well in terms of lap time. None more so than the Zentorno in 3rd place. Amazing that this car from, I think it was 2015 that this was added to the game. It could have even been 2014. It was one of the very earliest DLC cars, and here it is, still doing great. Obviously Pegassi's 3rd quickest car. They've only made 2 cars since 2014 or 2015, whenever it was, that are quicker than the Zentorno in all of these years. With a breaking that 1 minute 1 barrier is pretty impressive, and for it to only just be outside of the top 10 for the supercars class, the Zentorno is an absolute classic, and when driven correctly can really give you a good lap time, even if it is off the pace of the new breed of top supercars. But in 2nd place, we've got the Tempesta, and this is as quick as it gets really for Pegassi when it comes to regular cars, and certainly the supercars class. So kind of again, just like Grotti, Pegassi just misses out on having a top 10 supercar, with obviously the Tempesta here being in 11th place for the supercars class. That's as far up in the order in supercars as it goes. And the Tempesta is only just a little bit quicker than the Zentorno, but it's certainly a lot more stable, and when it comes to the sort of the B tier of supercars, the Tempesta is generally the one that you want to go for. But once again, just like Grotti, the top car, the quickest car that Pegassi make is a non-raceable rocket-powered vehicle with the new Torero. With a 57-second lap time, it absolutely demolishes everything else. It's it's top spot in the Sport Classics class. Obviously, I separate them normally by raceable Sports Classics and non-raceable Sports Classics. So if I was to combine the entire Sports Classics class, it would be, you know, quicker than that, quicker than everything. And the Torero actually gets the same sort of lap time as the Scramjet. So yeah, just like Grotti with a rocket-powered vehicle at the top, Pegassi is exactly the same. They don't have any absolute top supercars that are in, you know, the new breed of top 10, for example. They don't have any open wheel cars or anything like that. They've got a small number of really fast cars that, competent in their classes, and then they absolutely go crazy for the number one spot with a rocket-powered maniac of a car that can go, incredible lap times. In terms of top speed, the Toreador would also be number one. Obviously, you can't really look beyond any vehicle that has rockets to power it along. But if we take out the non-raceable Toreador, then the quickest top speed car for Pegassi is actually the Toros, which was in 10th place for this list. That SUV that it gets a pretty good lap time for SUVs, but it's got an even better top speed, and it is the quickest top speed car that Pegassi makes when we take away the Toreador. So yeah, it's interesting how similar Grotti and Pegassi are. Obviously, Grotti based on Ferrari, Pegassi based on Lamborghini. It makes sense that they're quite similar in terms of the cars that they make, with the classics and then the more modern supercars. But it's interesting that we haven't had anything sort of crazy quick yet. We haven't had any top 10 supercars, the new breed of supercars when it comes to the sort of the S tier. We haven't seen anything from Grotti or Pegassi for a long time, and for the Zentorno, for Pegassi to still be in that top 3 of quickest cars that they make after all these years, maybe we need something new from these car makers. Although, having said that, Grotti at least have had the Italis, which are, far and away the quickest in the sports class and probably should be in supercars anyway, but they're still not on the level of the Emirates, the Krieger, things like that at the top of supercars. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you enjoyed. Consider supporting on Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want testing results early. And remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, and subscribe for more. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.